Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin from Jones Bros Garage, and today we're in the garage taking a look at my Ducati Panigale V2. We're going to go over all the electronic settings and what they all do and how to flip through them. And then we're going to take it out on the road, or we're going to do some experiments. So if that sounds like something you guys are interested in seeing, go ahead and stay tuned and enjoy the video. Thank you. So basically you use this slide right here to flip through the settings. This little up and down slide, because most of the settings, if not all of them, are controlled with up and down. And then right here on your turn signal is actually a button, and that's what you press to activate different settings. So that's how you go about the settings on this bike. Nice and easy, simple, nothing complicated. Okay guys, so we're currently in night mode, and you can see down on the bottom left where it says T Air. When you go up and down, there's trip 2, setting menu. So obviously we're going to be going to setting menu. And now you have your riding modes. Pin code, you could set lap times. And here's your backlight, and right now it's on auto and it's in night mode. This is day mode. Alright, we'll go ahead and keep it in day mode so you guys can see easier. Units, you know, you could change your mile per hour, kilometer, temperature, Celsius, Fahrenheit. Consumption, miles per gallon, kilometers per liter, whatever. I'm in the US, so I use miles per gallon. And you could set them back to default. So that's your units. You have your service, and this tells you when your services are. Tire calibration. And here's your daytime running lights. Somebody asked me about that in a comment earlier. You actually could turn them on manual or auto in your settings. Turn indicators, it has auto canceling turn signals. Info, and there's just your battery voltage and your RPMs. And then coming back up, we got the date and clock, obviously. Like I said, pin code. And here's probably what you guys wanted to see and what this video is mainly going to be about. Riding modes. So when you click on that, you have race, which is recommended only for the track. Sport, which is for spirited street riding or amateur track riding. And then street, which obviously is for the street. And when you go into any of these, they all have presets, and you could set them all back to default with this. We'll go ahead and do that. So now they're all back at default. So when you go into race mode, for example, you have all of these settings, and we'll go over all of them. Engine, traction control, ABS, wheelie control, engine brake control, quick shifter. And each of these settings has different presets for each of those settings. So in race mode, the engine obviously is on high. And that's one of the things we're going to go ahead and test out and see how much, you know, you could see low says reduced power. I haven't really played with it much to see, you know, if it actually does feel like it's reduced. I think that it does. And you could see medium is full power with a smooth throttle, and high is dynamic throttle full power, which is what I keep it in usually. Traction control, you could see how the slide goes from wet to road to track, and safe to stable to performance. I usually keep mine around 5 or 6, somewhere in the middle. Here's your ABS, and now this is lean sensitive ABS, and on 3, that's generally where you want to keep it for the road and where I keep it. 2 is good for track riding, and 1 is for experienced professionals. It's front only, and it allows some tire lift. 2 allows a little bit of tire lift, and 3 doesn't allow any. And now 2 and 3 are also lean sensitive. They have cornering ABS. 2 will let the back wheel slide out a little bit. 3 will not. And 1 is, you know, just all the rider, all bike, except for it has some front ABS. Basically track-oriented ABS. And when I'm riding on the road, I keep that on 3. Now we have our wheelie control. And you could see, I mean, self-explanatory. This bike has a 6-axis IMU, obviously, because it can sense its lean angle. It also can sense the height of the front wheel off of the ground. And I could tell you guys firsthand that this system works very, very well. And to be totally honest with you guys, I tend to keep it on 4 because this is my first bike that was this powerful, and I'm still getting used to it all. And, you know, I just don't want to get caught off guard. I have had it on 1, which is, you know, minimum. And I haven't had it off, but I've had it on 1. And I could tell you at 1, it'll pick up the wheel, and it'll pick up the wheel fast. And off, obviously, it's off. But I do ride with it on 3 sometimes, and 3 kind of seems the same as 4, to be honest with you. I don't feel much difference. 2 will allow some wheel lift. 1, it really lifts. Like if you're in first or second gear, you got to ride it as if it doesn't have any wheelie control, you know. And then off is off, obviously. Now, the thing that's interesting about the wheelie control that I'll try to show you guys is there's a little flashing light that shows when it's cutting power. And so when you're in first and second gear, the bike feels very quick. You know, it's putting down the maximum power that it thinks it can allow without lifting the wheel. But when you shift into third, it generally stops cutting power. And the bike just takes off like a rocket. It's a pretty cool feeling when you actually have that wheelie control on and you're ringing it out, because you get that little bit of extra oomph when you hit third. And now the engine brake control, it has variable engine braking, and it's designed to not allow the rear wheel to lock up at all. I always leave mine on 1 because I like it to engine brake a lot. Sometimes I get lazy and don't want to use my brakes, and sometimes I think it's good just for an emergency situation. As soon as you let go of the throttle, it starts braking. But I generally leave mine on 1. I've rode with it on 3, and it barely engine brakes at all. So, you know, these are significant, definitely. And 1, it engine brakes very hard. It's a very significant difference for sure. And now you have your quick shifter. And what's interesting about this quick shifter that I just learned recently is it's actually lean sensitive. And it changes the way it shifts depending on your lean angle. Now, obviously for proper track riding, you're generally not supposed to shift mid-corner or anything like that. But on the street, I don't know. I just had this debate with somebody the other day in my comments that said, oh, you shouldn't be shifting in a turn. But sometimes you hit long sweeps and you're just not in a gear you like. And, you know, you're on the street. It's not like you're full throttle around the turns usually. So sometimes you do shift around the turn. And the quick shifter is an intelligent system that actually, it works based on your lean angle. I'm not completely sure what that means or how it varies your shifting, but it does. And you have up and down or off. You can't just leave the up on. And the downshifter with the auto blipper is incredible. Like I can tell you guys and explain it, but it's different when you feel it. It's just such a great system. And then obviously back to default with everything. And then, you know, when you go into sport, you have slightly more tame settings. Street, even tamer. So that's basically it for the settings. And now you could see down in the bottom right, it shows all of your settings listed. And we'll go ahead and take it out and do some experiments with it. Okay guys, so we're out on the Panigale. It's been a while. Man, feels nice. After riding the bagger and
Well, I've been riding the bagger a lot lately. I rode the WR a little bit. It takes a little bit to get back in the groove of, you know, the sport bike mentality, and especially the power of the Panigale. But that's besides the point. The point is, the first thing I'm interested to see is, can you change all of these settings on the fly? And that's what we're going to find out right now. So right now I'm in the sport setting. Let's go ahead and see what we could do. It does not appear to be letting me at all. Oh, look at that. It shows your speed on the side too. Okay, let's see if we can put it in race. Close throttle, and boom, it's in race mode, just like that. I wonder if we could do that at any speed. Let's try again. Go a little bit quicker now. Okay, street, close throttle, boom, street. So guys, you could change the overall, the major settings while on the fly. You just have to close the throttle. Now, I wonder if you could change individual settings like that as well. Let's find out. So street. Oh, I don't think you can. I don't think you can do that. No, you can't change the individual settings, which is understandable because it's very distracting from the road and not really the safest idea. But you could set your presets however you want for street, sport, and race, and then you could toggle between them on the fly, which is really cool. And we're going to go ahead and put this thing in low power mode, and we're going to head over to Mexico, and we're going to see how it responds to low power versus medium power versus high power. And we're going to keep all the other variables the same. How I showed you guys the settings I usually stay on when I flip through the dash, and we're going to leave all of those alone. We're just going to change the power settings, and we're going to see if that has a big dramatic difference on how the bike performs. Okay guys, so you could see for my street mode, you could see my little settings down the right side, and when I go into sport, they're all the same. I have them set all the same for every mode, but each mode is a different power setting, if you understand what I mean. Street is low power, sport is medium power, and race is high power, full power. And all the other settings are the same on each mode other than the power. So we're going to see if the power alone has any difference on how this bike performs. Wow. Wow. Wow, that is weird, guys. Okay, so right now I'm in low power mode, which I'm not usually in, and the bike feels so much more manageable. I mean, it feels closer. I'd say it still feels a little more powerful than my Ninja 650 that I had, but not by a lot. I mean, wow. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not expect that dramatic of a difference. Let's see what happens if I just absolutely ring it. Woo! Okay, yeah. If you absolutely ring it, it definitely has more power than, you know, like a Ninja 650. It still feels like a sport bike. But guys, it is nowhere near the brutality that you go through in full power mode. You know, if you guys ride and you ride leader bikes, or technically this would be a 750 class, but it's kind of between a 600 and a leader bike, you guys understand the brutal power that a bike like that that a bike like that can have, you know? Like full throttle and the power band on this thing, it feels like it wants to rip you off the bike, and you got to be prepared. But in this low power setting, man, it's really manageable. Guys, another thing that I could tell you right off the bat is that in this low power mode, the throttle is less twitchy, and it definitely feels better riding around town, you know, stop and go. It feels so smooth. I don't know. Wow. Guys, this is a side of this bike that I did not know existed until right now. I mean, I am just blown away by how smooth it feels. Yeah, man, that is some smooth power delivery. Guys, I like this low power mode. Now, let's go ahead and, now we're in Mexico. Let's see how this thing responds when you really give it the gas. Whoop! Okay, so when you get closer to power band, it still pulls. Woo! Yeah, baby! Yeah! You know what, though? It does not pull as hard. It does not pull nearly as hard as high power. What a dramatic difference. I look at my dash down here in Mexico, and I don't even know. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know if I hit 100 there. Maybe I was a little over 100. Guys, when I'm in full power mode, I would be cooking right there. I was full throttle. Easily probably would be going 140 at that point. I'm impressed, I'll say that. Now we're on the highway. This will be interesting. Let's switch it up into medium power mode. Close throttle. There we go, just like that, guys. We are now in medium power mode. Let's see what kind of difference we got. Looking for a little opening here in Mexico. Looks like our buddy may have gave us one. All right. Wow, baby! Yeah! Oh yeah. I definitely feel more power. It feels more aggressive for sure, especially up in that power band. Now let's really get into that power. Woo-hoo! Yeah, baby! Wow! Okay, guys, I can confirm difference. There is definitely a difference. That medium power mode, she's starting to pull. She's starting to pull for sure. Big difference. Let's go ahead and set it into race mode, baby. Full power. All right, and there we go. We are in race mode. You know, I didn't feel a ton of adrenaline in the low power mode. Don't get me wrong, it pulls like a bat out of hell. But, oh yeah, oh my god, I'm barely touching the throttle. I can already tell a massive difference. Alright, let's see what she does. Woo! Yeah, baby! Oh my god! Okay, guys. Wow! There is definitely a big difference. Woo! Yeah, race mode lets it all hang out. Puts it all on the table. Big difference. The biggest difference I could feel is just cruising here in this mid-range, and you start to chop the throttle a little, it immediately pulls. Whereas in the low power mode, it's a lot more smooth and subtle of a pull. But in this race mode, it pulls pretty much as soon as you think. Your brain thinks, oh, I want to go fast, and boom, you're going fast. And we're at 6,000 in 4th gear in low power mode. Let's see how she responds. See if it's all just in my head. Woo! So you can see that was from 6 to 9,000. It pulled. Let's try medium power mode. Alright, 4th gear. Hovering around 6 grand. Let's see how long it takes to take it up to about 9. We're at 6,000 in 4th gear. To give her the juice. Woo! Woo! That felt a little quicker, guys, but nothing major, really. That was medium power mode, race mode. Let's let it all hang out now. RPMs. 4th gear. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yeah, baby! Okay. I definitely feel a difference in how it pulls. But the reason I chose 6,000 RPMs is because that's where I feel the least difference. Below 6,000, I feel a big difference between the modes. And above 9,000, I feel a big difference between the modes. So that little rev range right there is where I felt the least amount of difference. And I do still feel a noticeable difference between low and high. Especially with how choppy the throttle is. And how jerky it is. You know, in race mode, it definitely just wants to go. It has a mission. And in low power, it feels a lot more like a street bike. So I guess that's that. Whew. Whew.
Alright guys, so if you found that video to be entertaining, helpful, useful, anything, then you could go ahead and support me by subscribing. That's the #1 way you could support me. I like to say thank you guys for 500. I appreciate all of my subscribers. And the current goal is 1,000. If we could get there, I'll be feeling pretty good. And, you know, I'm starting to build my community. That's the goal, to build a nice, positive community where we could all learn together. And if you guys have any comments about this video or the Ducati or anything, you could go ahead and leave a comment below. I answer all my comments, so any questions, whatever, go ahead and leave them. Thank you guys for checking out my video.